Enjoy.
Beautiful morning to you, Vicinity 95.3 FM. Today is Wednesday. How are you this morning? What to say? Chop chop time is morning. When we come like this, we know we bring you top stories on our dailies where we get to our
where we bring to you top stories on our dailies where we get to um, read to you the stories from our dailies. Then I am Aisha Ibrahim, and it's Wednesday, the 30th day in the month of July. How are you preparing for August? Do well to join us on our Facebook and on our YouTube at Vicinity 95.3 FM.
Yeah, I'm OLUWAFUNKE Israel. It's a beautiful Wednesday morning. Thank you for joining us on the show this morning. I'll be taking our top stories from Nigerian Tribune, The Guardian, and The Punch.
And for me this morning is the Vanguard newspaper, the Nation newspaper, and the Daily Trust newspaper.
On the front page of Nigerian Tribune, Transcorp Group revenue grows by 279.7 billion naira. Makinde Abiodun meets in Ibadan to strengthen relationship on agri security orders. IMF raises Nigeria's 2025 growth forecast to 3.4% amid global optimism. Presidency North should wait till 2031. Akume North not getting deserved attention under Tinubu's government. ACF Tinubu has kept his promises, says Northern Governors Forum. Tinubu's wife visits Benue, donates 1 billion naira to victims of other pharmaco attacks. Health stem cell therapy may offer regenerative cure for type 1 diabetes. ADC will not condone anti-party activities in discipline. David Mark party to set up 50-man committee on manifesto. Godfathers came in to hijack ADC. Lukman cautions Mark. PDP blast ADC, accuses party of unprovoked attack, says it remains strong. Vows to beat APC in 2027.
Yeah, all right. From the Vanguard newspaper this morning, states tackle federal government over equity ownership of Discos NDPHC. IMF upgrades Nigeria's economic growth forecast to 3.4%. Saraki to supporters, I didn't direct anyone to join ADC. Doctors, nurses threaten strike nationwide over poor welfare. Tinubu reassures North of development as ACF chair, ex-SGF kick. Quality of local government elections still low, says INEC. SEX expressed misgivings over Supreme Court judgment on Rivers Council polls. British High Commission CDS declared killing of 38 the kidnapped hostage after ransom payments. 2027 ADC might become another PDP or APC if Lukman wins. And then in sports, our next target is to win World Cup, said by Ajibade. Those are the top stories from the Vanguard newspaper this morning.
Now, The Guardian, 210 trillion naira audit gap. I needed time to get it right. NNPC boss tells Senate. NDLEA auctions drug traffickers' properties in Lagos, Kano, and Ogun. Mob lynches police officer's son for beheading brother in Ondo. Discuss overbill 2 million customers struggle with metering efficiency. And northern leaders criticize Tinubu's record as governor, others rally in defense. Nigerians spent 1.3 trillion naira on PMS in June as Dangote marketers deep in competition. Current security architecture can't contain insecurity, alias says. Nigeria's economy to grow by 3.4% this year. IMF affirms. FG cautions as Ghana alleged ritual killings, prostitution against Nigerian. Nihoto raises tribunal to sanitize hospitality tourism sector.
Alright, from the Nation newspaper this morning, First Lady's RHI left Benue attack victims with 1 billion naira. Transcorp Group rank in 379.7 billion naira in first half. FIRS health tax exemption to firms, NGOs in FTS. Patient discharge as nurses join doctor strike in Lagos. Ladoja, I'll prioritize filling vacant positions in Olubadan's chieftaincy line. Uwada, Akume, Yahya, Sani rallied north for Tinubu. Respond to AG's queries on 210 trillion cash. On 210 trillion cash, Senate sells NNPCL. PDP, ADC, lock-ons in supremacy battle. Tinubu carrying people along in governance, says Shatima. Aliyu, regions elite to blame for woes. Those are the top stories from the Nation newspaper this morning.
Yeah, on the Punch, not split over Tinubu marginalization claim. And 20 trillion audit, Senate demands NNPC response in 3 weeks. Nurses shun FG talks, begin warning strike today. States accuse FG of sabotaging power sector decentralization. Power rotation, debate heat up as not reviewed Tinubu's scorecard. Tinubu must complete 8 years, says Afenifere. Middle Belt Forum. Opposition tackle APC soon in stand. Nihoto sets up panel to sanction tourism offenders. Olubado, Olakuleyin for burial August 8.
Alright, from the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, ACF says North sidelined as Tinubu's men showcase project. 25,000 nurses begin strike today. Tinubu offers jobs, 250,000 naira, PhD scholarships to 200 NYSC honorees. General Olanrewaju flags Lagos streets, bus stops renaming as injustice. Child trafficking rising in Kaduna, group raises alarm. Ogun, elephant attack, lawmaker calls for calm. And those are the top stories from the Daily Trust newspaper this morning.
Yeah, I will now bring you the details of the story on the Punch. Power rotation debate heat up as North reviews Tinubu's scorecard. The long-simmering debate over Nigeria's power rotation arrangement flared up again on Tuesday as northern political leaders, technocrats, traditional rulers, and civil society actors converge in Kaduna to assess President Bola Tinubu's performance 2 years into his tenure. The high-powered meeting, conveyed by the Sir Ahmadu Bello Memorial Foundation, and held at the historic Arewa House, brought together some of the most influential voices from across the 19 northern states in the Federal Capital Territory. The two-day event themed Assessing Electoral Promises, Fostering Government-Citizen Engagement for National Unity underscored both the region's weight in national politics and the urgency of the questions being asked about Nigeria's future under Tinubu.
Still from the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, Tinubu offers jobs, 250,000 naira, PhD scholarships to 200 NYSC honorees. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has offered immediate employment into the Federal Civil Service, 250,000 naira, and scholarship up to PhD level to 200 National Youth Service Corps (NYSC) members, in recognition of their outstanding performance during their service years between 2020 to 2023. President Tinubu also eulogized the awardees for their discipline, commitment, selflessness, teamwork, patriotism, and integrity. The president, who was represented by the Minister of State for Labour and Employment, Nkiruka Oyejosha, at the combined President NYSC Honours Award ceremony at the banquet hall of the President's Villa, Abuja, assured the honorees that the head of the Civil Service of the Federation and chairman of the Federal Civil Service Commission will immediately commence their employment process. For further reading, you can read up this news from the Daily Trust newspaper with the headline, Tinubu offers jobs, 250,000 naira, PhD scholarship to 200 NYSC honorees.
Adeleke wants IBDC ahead of Osun Power Regulator takeoff. Governor Ademola Adeleke of Osun State has warned the Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company against riding roughshod in its operations in the state. Adeleke sounded the warning ahead of the establishment of the State Electricity Regulatory Agency, which would be mandated to address the maltreatment of electricity consumers in the state. The agency is to be established in accordance with the Osun State Electricity Markets Regulatory Bill of 2025, which was passed into law by the State Assembly on Monday. Stories on the Punch.
Still from the Daily Trust newspaper, 25,000 nurses begin strike today. Healthcare service across Nigeria face major disruption from today, Wednesday, as 25,000 nurses under the umbrella of National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives (NAM) Federal Health Institution Sector embark on a 7-day nationwide warning strike. The action, which began at midnight, followed the expiration of 15-day ultimatum issued by NAM to the federal government. Daily Trust reports that this is coming amid the face of between doctors and the government over welfare and other issues. Speaking with Daily Trust, the national chairman of NAM FHI, Morakinyo Riwon, said the strike would involve a total withdrawal of services across all federal health institutions.
Back to the Punch. States accuse FG of sabotaging power sector decentralization. State governments have accused the federal government of attempting to reverse the gains of power sector decentralization, warning that proposed amendments to the Electricity Act could erode their newly granted autonomy and undermine Nigeria's electricity reform trajectory. The tension was laid bare on Tuesday at a high-level engagement between the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, and State Commissioners of Energy, where governors' representatives demanded full respect for sub-national regulatory powers, especially over electricity tariff, licensing, and distribution systems. The discussion was against the backdrop of rising tension over the announcement by the inaugural Electricity Regulatory Commission to reduce the cost of the Band A tariff from 200 naira per kilowatt hour to 160 naira kilowatts.
Still from the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, federal government, we have not given up on Chibok girls, Leah Sharibu. The federal government says it's still working on how to rescue the remaining Chibok schoolgirls who were abducted 11 years ago. It also said it hasn't forgotten about Leah Sharibu, who was also kidnapped alongside her colleagues in 2018. Daily Trust report that no fewer than 276 girls were abducted by the terrorists from the Government Girls Secondary School in Chibok, Borno State on April 14, 2014, the development that generated outrage internationally. Similarly, Sharibu was among the 110 schoolgirls kidnapped by Islamic State's West African province, ISWAP fighters, from the Government Girls School Science and Technical College, Tapchi, Yobe State, on February 19, 2018. Although many girls have been rescued 11 years after, parents of the 87 girls are still believed to be in captivity, with many of them already married to Boko Haram commanders in their hideouts. Fielding questions from our correspondent during Daily Trust correspondent during the multi-agency meeting on anti-kidnapping, the National Coordinator, National Counter-Terrorism Center, Adamu Laka, stated why some of the kidnapped girls have been rescued over the years, efforts to free the remaining ones have not rested.
Nurses Sean FG talks begins warning strike today. Nurses, under the umbrella of the National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives, Federal Health Institution sector, have insisted that their planned 7-day warning strike will begin on Wednesday. The members vow to complete the strike even if the government called for negotiations. Speaking in an interview with correspondent of Punch on Tuesday, the national chairman of the association, Morakinyo Rewan, said the government had 15 days to respond to the demands but failed to act. The union on July 14 issued a 15-day ultimatum to the federal government demanding immediate intervention to prevent a total healthcare shutdown.
Still from the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, ACF says not sidelined as Tinubu's Men Showcase project. The Arewa Consultative Forum, ACF, has raised concerns over the alleged marginalization of northern Nigeria in federal budget allocations and infrastructure developments under the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Speaking at a 2-day citizen engagement forum organized by the Sir Ahmadu Bello Memorial Foundation in Kaduna on Tuesday, Alhaji Bashir Da'atu, Waziri Nduse, and chairman of the ACF Board of Trustees, claimed that the region have been sidelined in critical policy decisions and project implementation despite what it called its significant electoral support for the president in the 2023 general election. For further reading, you can read this from the Daily Trust newspaper with headline ACF says not sidelined as Tinubu's Men Showcase project.
210 audit Senate demands NNPC response in 3 weeks. The Senate on Tuesday gave the Group Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Bayo Julari, 3 weeks to respond to queries raised in audit reports covering the period from 2017 to 2023 regarding the alleged unaccounted sum of 210 trillion naira. The directive was issued by the Senate Committee on Public Accounts chaired by Senator Ahmed Wadada, Nasarawa West, after a session with Ujulari. Senator Wadada clarified that the money was neither missing nor stolen, but was yet to be properly accounted for.
Still from the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, General Olaniwaju flags Lagos streets, bus stops renaming as injustice. Former Minister of Communications Major General Tajuddin Olaniwaju has described renaming of some streets and bus stops in Lagos as inconceivable injustice. Daily Trust reports there has been controversy over the renaming of some streets and bus stops by the former chairman of Bariga Local Council Development Area, Kolade Alabi. Examples such as the renaming at Charlie Boy bus stop to Bado bus stop, as well as the naming of 2 streets after President Bola Tinubu and Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. General Olaniwaju, in a statement made available to Daily Trust's correspondent in Lagos on Tuesday, argued that these changes are unethical and represent a significant injustice to the indigenous people of Lagos.
Olubadan Olakuleyin for burial August 8th. The Olakuleyin royal family on Tuesday officially announced the funeral rites and farewell activities of the 43rd Olubadan of Ibadan Oba Owolabi Olakuleyin. According to reports, Olakuleyin joined his ancestors on Monday, July 7th, at the age of 90 years in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. A statement released by the first son of the late monarch, Olasunbo Olakuleyin, said the late Olubadan would be given a state burial on Friday, August 8th, as approved by Governor Seyi Makinde. The story is on the Punch.
And from the Vanguard newspaper this morning, 2027, ADC might become another PDP or APC if Lukman wins. Foremost promoter of the coalition-backed African Democratic Congress, ADC, Salihu Lukman, has warned against the infiltration of godfathers who could derail the party's democratic aspirations ahead of the 2027 general elections. He spoke as former governor of Borno State and a chieftain of All Progressive Congress, APC, Ali Modu Sherif, dismissed ADC as a party that would soon go out of existence, adding that the presidential candidate of Labour Party, LP, in 2023 elections, Peter Obi, would return to People's Democratic Party, PDP. Modu Sherif was, however, countered by spokesman of ADC, Malam Bolaji Abdullahi, who said Obi would not risk returning to PDP. Lukman, in a statement in Abuja yesterday, noted the pessimism of some opposition leaders in the 18 months leading to the final adoption of the ADC.
And this brings me to Nigerian Tribune. 2027, why Tinubu will face no opposition from governors Uba Sani. The Kaduna State Governor Uba Sani has explained that President Bola Tinubu will face no opposition from governors in the 2027 presidential election. Speaking on Monday at a two-day interactive session on government citizen engagement organized by Sir Ahmadu Bello Memorial Foundation in Kaduna, Sani praised Tinubu's leadership style, noting that no previous Nigerian president has shown such consistent support for governors. You're still listening to our newspaper review on Vicinity 95.3 FM. Do well to join the conversation this morning on our Facebook at Vicinity 95.3 FM or join our YouTube channel at Vicinity 95.3 FM. We'll be right back.
Just got excited.
Let's go.
This is Vicinity FM 95.3.
Are you a business owner looking to grow your brand or launch your hustle for enhanced value? Vicinity 95.3 FM Ikejile, Ijesha, Osun State is calling on public and private establishments to advertise your goods and services. With our wider reach in Osun, Ondo, Ogun, Ekiti, Kwara, Oyo, and Kogi states, let's push your products and services to a new height. For more information on advert placement, partnership, or program sponsorship, please call Giwa on 081-12-499-685, 081-12-499-685, or OLUWAFUNKE on 070-6106-3557. We offer only premium services at Vicinity 95.3.
Ọ̀gálá jẹ́ Adéọlá Noite ló ní ẹ máa gbọ́. Mo fọwọ́ ẹ̀ sọ̀yà. Believe while that's follow. Vicinity FM, àwa ní bàbá.
Music, sports,
In towards Lukaku.
entertainment, politics, all on your darling station, Vicinity 95.3 FM, Ikejile, Ijesha.
Thank you for staying tuned. Our newspaper review on Vicinity 95.3 FM on Nigerian Tribune. Nigeria drowning in debt may surpass 200 trillion naira by December. Peter Obi The 2023 Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi has raised serious concern over Nigeria's rising debt burden, warning that the country may owe over 200 trillion naira by the end of 2025. In a post made on his X former Twitter account, Peter Obi said Nigeria's growing debt was unsustainable and dangerous for the future of the country. His warning comes just a week after the Senate approved a fresh round of external and domestic borrowing.
Still from the Vanguard newspaper this morning, Naira appreciates to 1,530 Naira per dollar in parallel markets. The Naira yesterday appreciated to 1,530 Naira per dollar in the parallel market from 1,540 per dollar on Monday. Likewise, the Naira appreciated to 1,532.5 per dollar in Nigerian Foreign Exchange Market (FM), falling between the parallel market by 2.5 Naira.
Deputy Speaker Kali withdraws Indigenship Bill. The Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Kali, on Tuesday withdrew the Indigenship Bill before the Parliament, before the legislative engagement. In a statement on Tuesday night, Kali said that the withdrawal has become necessary in light of the concerns and constructive feedback received from various stakeholders regarding the bill. He added that the bill analysis report forwarded by the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies also made it imperative for him to step down the bill at this time. Although the intention of the bill was to promote national unity, equity and inclusiveness among all Nigerians, regardless of where they reside, part of the report stated that the state houses of assembly should make laws that will make settlers in different states enjoy the same rights and privileges by the indigenes.
Still from the Vanguard newspaper this morning, IMF upgrades Nigeria's economic growth forecast to 3.4%. The International Monetary Fund (IMF) has upgraded its forecast for Nigeria's economic growth to 3.4% in 2025. The new forecast represents 0.4 percentage points from the 3.30% forecast of the IMF in April this year. Similarly, the IMF raised its forecast for the country's economic growth for 2026 to 3.2%, representing 0.5 percentage points from 2.7% in April. The IMF announced the new forecast in its World Economic Outlook July 2025 edition, which also showed an upgrade review of the forecast for global economic growth to 3.0% for 2025 and 3.1% for 2026.
Now, we are back to the Guardian. Group urges Southeast governors on security probe into Imo community killings. The World Igbo National Union yesterday condemned the recent brutal killings of Igbo at Uma Aloma Arodizogu in Idato North Local Council of Imo State, calling on governors of the Southeast to take proactive measures to enhance community safety. No fewer than 28 unarmed persons were reportedly killed last Thursday as gunmen invaded the community in the early hours, shooting in all directions. WINO, which lamented the development in a statement by its publicity secretary, Faye Uwakwe, stated that the violent and tragic incidents which came to public attention through a heart-wrenching video that surfaced on July 24th highlighted not only the loss of lives but the increased insecurity faced by communities in Igbo land.
Still in Vanguard this morning, delineation crisis. Group calls for exercise cancellation, arrest of INEC staff. Advocacy group Worry Reclamation Trust has demanded the arrest, investigation and petitioning of the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC officials involved in what they described as a fraudulent ward delineation exercise of Warri Federal Constituency. The group urged INEC to conduct the delineation exercise in accordance with its guidelines and obey all Supreme Court judgments, particularly on land ownership in Warri Federal Constituency.
PDP seeks redeployment of REC EOs ahead of August 16 by-election in Edo State. The People's Democratic Party in Edo yesterday called on the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and its chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, to boost voters' confidence and assure the credibility of the by-elections for the Edo Central Senatorial District and Ovia Federal Constituency. The opposition party made the call in Benin following the appeal for credible, fair, open and transparent polls ahead of the August 16 by-elections. This is contained in a statement signed by the chairman, Edo PDP Caretaker Committee, Dr. Tony Azegbemi. Azegbemi said the call became necessary as the PDP in Edo State is highly prepared for the polls and is confident that it will emerge victorious.
Still from the Vanguard newspaper this morning, British High Commission (ICDS) decried killing of 38 hostage after ransom payment. The British High Commission yesterday decried the weekend killing of 38 kidnapped hostages in Zamfara State, even after over 50 million naira ransom had been paid. This came on a day the Chief of Defense Staff (CDS) General Christopher Musa issued stern warning to Nigerians against providing any form of support to bandits. Reacting to the killing in Abuja, British Deputy High Commissioner Ms. Gil Lever, who lamented that only 18 of the hostages were released after the ransom payment, said, and I quote, "Very frankly, I want to express my condolences to the people of Zamfara State over that horrible kidnap, where even when ransom was paid, only a few people were released and others murdered."
2027, Lukman Alaji said the leaders move to impose candidates. Leading member of the opposition Africa Democratic Congress, ADC, Saliu Lukman, has alleged that the top echelon of the party was planning to impose their preferred candidates for various elective seats on the party. In 2027, this was as the former Senate President, Dr. Bukola Saraki, urged members of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in Kwara State to shun overtures from ADC. Meanwhile, the national chairman of All Progressives Congress, Professor Natawi Wadda, ruled out the possibility of the opposition unseating President Bola Tinubu. The story is on The Guardian.
Still from the Vanguard newspaper this morning, MAN expresses concern over industrial sector decline in GDP. The Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, MAN, has expressed concerns over the declining share of the industrial sector in the nation's gross domestic product, GDP. Consequently, the association called on the federal government to prioritize manufacturing and industrialization to boost the real economic situation and consolidate gains from the rebased gross domestic product. Segun Ajayi Kadri, Director General of MAN, in a statement made available to Vanguard while reacting to the country's first quarter 2025 GDP growth rate of 3.13%, stated that the improvement suggests that the economy has the potential to recover. For further reading, you can see this on Vanguard newspaper. MAN expresses concern over industrial sector decline in GDP.
Omogbemi commends President Tinubu for Falcons' biggest reward. Former Super Falcons coach Florence Omogbemi has commended President Bola Tinubu for giving to the Super Falcons what she described as the biggest reward ever for women's footballers. The former Super Falcons captain and coach also tipped Ray of the moment, ex-star Okoronko, to win this year's African Football of the Year award. The Okoronko has quickly emerged as one of the brightest stars in Nigerian women's football, from her grassroots days in Abia State to a growing reputation on the international stage. Okoronko continues to make headlines for all the right reasons. At this time, everybody is feeling like joining, becoming a sportsman or a sportswoman. Well, yeah, a good one for the Super Falcons. But at this time, honestly, you want that. While I was watching that the video, the way they were even shouting when they hear, it's the money is in dollars, not naira. Now there's a comment on our Facebook page. Good morning today. Good morning to you, Sergio.
Good morning to you, sir.
He said 150 million naira for footballers and 250K for excellent NYSC awardees. It is not. Is it not better to be an excellent sports person? Is it not better to be an excellent sports person over an excellent academician? I'm sure he meant that which is better, excellent academician. But gestures encourage us to be our best in all that we do. The president has done well for the two group of beneficiaries. Now, until now, when we always hear that when you go through youth service, of course, if you have shown exemplary leadership or excel maybe by contributing to community development, we always see presidents honor this core member who have really
Worked
yes
committed.
yes and contributed to community development in their primary area of assignments. And at this point, you get one or two persons, but this one, the president decided, to go back in time, and people who have even to go back in time and see that these people have done exceptionally well. Let's call them back and applaud them for the good work. It's a good one because there is nowhere people continue. You're not asked to do these things. You just decided to be committed to the cause, and somewhere someone recognizes what you do and decided, to give you. No matter what they give you, it might not seem like this is all of the rewards. This is what is something to go by that, and we continue to appreciate our young people, because there are lots of them out there that are not making this country proud. So we should appreciate the ones who are really, painting our name in good and saying that Nigeria is not all that bad. And we should continue, to encourage our youngsters to do better for the country, because they are the future. And this is where we get to say thank you for joining us on Newspaper Review this morning, Vicinity 95.3 FM. I'm OLUWAFUNKE Israel. Time to sign out.
Yeah, I'm Aisha Ibrahim, and thanks for joining the Newspaper Review this morning. And remember, nothing is impossible to achieve. Do have a great day.
Yeah, nothing is impossible to achieve, like the Super Falcons. So it's not all of us are not going to play football, Yeah, but in whatever you do, do it so well. So someday there would be a day of reckoning, and you want to be on the good side of it, so you will be rewarded. For every work we do, there is reward.
There are people watching us that we are unaware of. Yes.
And our producer is Muji Olakunle. Bye for now.
Music, sports,
In towards Lukaku.
entertainment, politics, all on your darling station.